Hello to my fellow history lovers and people that think if I learned something new today, it will be a good day. I am author Eileen Schnabel, author of the Kep Westgard Time Travel to the American Revolution series. We have 3 questions from the Treaty of Paris by the Professor Noggins series. Number 1, the peace agreement was named the Treaty of Paris because Paris was the capital of Britain. And the answer to that is false. Paris, of course, being the capital of France. But I no longer say, I'm surprised you didn't know that, because my own kids so many times have caught me and said, Mom, how do you not know that? That I always think, who knows what you know, just learn. Number 2, according to the Treaty of Paris, what river marked the western boundary of the United States? And that is Mississippi. And lastly, and this one's a little bit more complicated than it at first seems, true or false, the Treaty of Paris required the colonies to form one country. And the answer to that is false. And I thought it was kind of an odd question. Why are they asking it? And I think this is what they're getting at. At the end of the war, we still just have the Articles of Confederation, which means each state is basically acting like a mini country. It even has its own currency. So this, for example, would be the currency from Virginia. It's Virginia currency. This would be, I think, South Carolina currency. So each state has its own laws, its own currency, and it isn't until 1787 that we do the Constitutional Convention, where we basically come together as a country. But this is a big thing. Throughout all of this, and it keeps roaring back, is the idea between federal and state power. So it roars back, of course, quintessentially in the Civil War, right? State versus federal, but also in more recently, like in COVID, right? There were certain states, there were mask mandates and vaccines, and there was the big tension between what the state could determine itself and what the federal government had the power to determine. And then, of course, quite recently, when President Trump sends in troops to states, the National Guard, again, a huge constitutional question, like how much power is the federal government have versus the state? And all of that kind of comes back to this question of being one country and that juxtaposition between the rights of the state versus the rights of the federal government. And that is a tension that has gone on since the beginning of our country. Well, I hope you did well. I will see you tomorrow, and wishing you a good day.